Hi there, it's Sam from Pootles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today I have what I'm calling my I Love Lace box, and this is a lovely little cube box. It is 2 inches by 2 inches by 2 inch cube, 5 centimetre cube. But I have got a stamped lid on it. I'm not sure how well you're going to see that in the lighting. Hopefully, let me just zoom in and focus for a second. There you go. It's beautifully stamped with our I Love Lace background stamp. It's cute, isn't it? So I'm going to show you how to make it. Let me just focus you again. There we go. You need 2 pieces of Whisper White cardstock. For the base, it needs to be 6 by 6 inches, so that you get your 2 by 2 inch size. And for the lid, it needs to be 4 1/16 of an inch by 4 1/16 of an inch. And in metric, that's 15 by 15, 10.2 by 10.2. And it's really important that you are that smidgen over. And obviously then, we need to stamp first, and the stamping is the beautiful I Love Lace background stamp. I have got a clear mount version of it just because I'm a bit of a space girl. You know, I like to keep my space, you know, I like to be able to get a lot of stamps in the same space. So I have got a clear mount one, so I want to show you which block it goes onto and how you set it up. So this is our biggest block, and it's the F block. I'm not sure, there's a little number, a letter even, on the side. If you buy a wood mount one, it's going to be permanently set for you. Excuse me, I've got a cough coming. But like I say, I'm just glancing at my shelves, I've got 13 background stamps. That's outrageous, isn't it? I've got 13 background stamps, and by having them in the clear mounts casing means I can fit more on my shelves and nobody notices. Okay, but obviously if you had a wood mount one, it would be permanently set. But the F block is for that. Anyway, Wisteria Wonder. This was Pink Pirouette, Wisteria Wonder ink, and you bring your ink pad to the stamp, and then you can see that you're getting ink everywhere that it needs to be. Okay, so if you are working with a background stamp and you have got a big piece of cardstock, you take your piece of cardstock to it, lay it on and rub it over. I've got a fairly small one. I could go like that and do it. It's up to you. It really is up to you. I'm not able to look overhead, so I'm hoping I've got that on. I have. And then you just peel it up. Look at that, beautifully stamped. That's going to hurt my brain. I'm going to have to remove that. Bear with me 1 second. Does anybody else like me? Can't work with inked up grid paper? Okay, so I'm just going to leave that to dry. Not that it needs drying, lots of drying, but I'm just going to leave it anyway. Right, scoring tool. Simply Scored scoring tool. I get a lot of questions from people asking me where they can get hold of them. This is a Stampin' Up one. I'm a UK demonstrator looking after 5 countries in Europe. USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. I think that's it. USA, Canada, and Australia. Yeah, the other 4 countries. Get one from your Stampin' Up rep over there. Otherwise, I don't know where you could get them from other countries, but it's a Simply Scored scoring tool. Okay, 6 inch side, 15 centimetres. Score it at 2 inches on all 4 sides, which is 5 centimetres. On all 4 sides. Okay, and then your lid, which is the 4 1/16 of an inch, 10.2 centimetres, you score this at 1 inch on all 4 sides, which is 2.5 centimetres. And it's obviously, I'm going to be answering questions today. I had another question, somebody asking me why I scored and folded in the same, you know, I scored on the side that I wanted to show. That is, so I can probably show you. Let me get a scrap bit of cardstock. I'll put 2 score lines on here, and hopefully the white you will see. I have scored on this side. If you fold it like that and burnish it, you get a perfect crease there, but you get the perfect crease on the inside as well. If you have a score line and you go like that, you crack your cardstock. Can you see how? Let me zoom again. That is what you would see on the outside of your box or your package or your parcel. That's not attractive. That is. So that's why you score and fold. Lots of questions answered. Okay, let's refocus you. So, let's get the right bone folder. I don't think I've got any more questions in my head right now. I do get asked lots of questions and people leave lots of comments on my channel in the description bar. It's because I am a very busy mum of 4 little boys. I actually don't get to my computer more than about once a week. I run my whole life off my mobile phone, which is not very big. And YouTube don't have an easy way for me to reply to your comments via my phone. So I don't get a chance to reply to them all that often, but it doesn't mean that I'm not saying thank you. Okay, I'm just trimming into my box here. This is my lid. So I'm trimming basically a little wedge out of each bit, and that's because this is such a small, delicate box. I don't want there to be any overlapping cardstock or anything like that, and I think that taking a few extra seconds to do this is worth it, because you want the box to be a kind of gift in itself. With the bigger one, with this small one, that's fine, you can overlap them like that. The cardstock flaps, that's these corner bits, they're not going to overlap. These ones will, because that's 2 inches and 2 inches going over, and you're going to have 3 layers of cardstock. So we're going to go round in a circle. But doing exactly the same, trimming and trimming. So instead of coming along to this one, as we did on the lid, rotate it round. It will make sense in a second when I show you. And just keep going around. What it means by doing this funny sort of, I suppose, windmilly type pattern in it is that you'll have 1 layer of cardstock flap there that's going to go onto there, that one is going to go onto there, and so on. And that means that when you build your box up, all 4 sides have got 2 layers of cardstock, whereas otherwise it would have been like that. You'd have had 3 there, and you'd have had 3 opposite it, and then you'd have only had 1 piece of cardstock, and it would have just, it wouldn't have been good. Okay, right, where's my fuse? I do like my fuse. I've got into it now. So, but, you know, if you're still not into your fuse, you haven't quite got used to it, sticky strip will work. Perhaps not Tombow, because this is Whisper White, and Tombow shows through on the Whisper White cardstock. It does with me anyway. I might be a little heavy-handed, but I find it shows through. But I like the fuse. As I said, I'm into it now. So that's the box bottom, all put together, and then the lid exactly the same. Although obviously we're not going round corners on this time. And pop the lid on, and it fits perfectly. Isn't that pretty? Right, tiny little bit more stamping. Oh, this is the bit that I scored into. Let's just get rid of that. I've got the very pretty Around Array stamp set, which I think is just lovely, and it's a great one for doing layering, and you can punch out all the little ends. So grab my ink again, and I've chosen the For You, which is this one down here. I have done the Thank You plenty of times. I'm going to stamp it twice because I want to punch out the middle. And I've got my 1/2 inch circle punch, which is for the middle part, for the For You wording. And that fits perfectly round. And I've got my 7/8 of an inch scallop circle that goes round here. And then I've got a little scrap of Dazzling Diamonds glimmer paper. I love this stuff. Oh, how many times have I used that in the last, I don't know, couple of months? And this is a 1 inch circle. I've used it so much. Quite clear that I really like the stuff. So 3 dimensionals to layer these up. They fit perfectly around the 1/2 inch circle, which goes over the top. Whoops. And then that can go onto there. I'll put that on the back, and I'm going to grab my ribbon, which I had out, so Wisteria Wonders seam binding ribbon. Okay, everybody, fingers crossed, I can get the bow done. Actually, to be fair, seam binding ribbon likes me better than other ribbons. It doesn't object too much to being tied in bows. And actually, I think you can kind of manipulate it a bit better. Oh, that's far too long. Okay, somebody told me I needed to make bunny ears. Okay. Well, I tied the bow just upside down. Let's turn it around. Good job it's a square box. Oh, that's not bad, is it? Okay, so trim off those bits there and there. Move it back slightly, and then I can put my little sentiment in there, and you can put little treats and stuff in there. I don't know, little goodies, bombs, all sorts. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to speak to you very soon. Bye.